Hello again. My name is Mark Andres, and welcome to part 3 of my Introduction to the Law of Attraction series. I'm an international speaker and Law of Attraction coach who helps people every day to use the Law of Attraction more deliberately and effectively in their lives. Today I'm coming to you from Columbus, Ohio, where I'm going to talk to you about the magic question and how it will help you focus on what you want in your everyday life. Okay, let's jump right into part 3. Now, if you remember from part 1, we learned that the law of attraction says that I attract into my life whatever I focus on, whether I want it or not. And in the second part, we learned that your emotions can tell you whether you're focused on something that is wanted or unwanted. If it feels good, you want it. If it feels bad, you're focused on something that you don't want. So in this part, we're going to talk about asking yourself the magic question to help you flip from focusing on what you don't want to focusing on what you do want. So what is this magic question? Well, the magic question is, so what do I want? You can ask yourself this question whenever you catch yourself feeling bad and you know that you're focused on what you don't want. So for example, if you're worried about losing your job, and you feel that worry, you can stop and say, wait a minute, I'm feeling bad, I know I'm focused on what I don't want, so what do I want? Well, I want to keep my job, I want to get a promotion. You can immediately flip right into all those things you do want, and you're putting your focus there. So that's a very simple thing. I would take this question, put it on stickies or post notes and post it around your house. Whatever you can do, put it on your screensaver, anything that you can do to remind yourself to ask yourself this question. What do I want? What do I want? If you get frustrated in traffic, put it in your car. Anywhere you can put it so that remind yourself that help you flip from focusing on what you don't want to what you do want. This can be very, very beneficial. The other thing that you want to pay attention to, and you can start to use the magic question is when you catch yourself using negatives like don't or can't. The fact is your brain can actually not process a negative. Your brain is unable to process a negative. And I'll give you an example. Right now as you're watching this, I don't want you to think about a puppy. I want you, whatever you do not think about a puppy. Do not see a puppy, do not see the cute little puppy. And now, whatever you do not see a red sports car. I don't want you to visualize a red sports car. And of course, as soon as I say no and not and don't, it doesn't matter because your brain, it blocks those out, and when I say don't think of a puppy, you think of a puppy. When I say don't think of a red sports car, you think of a red sports car. And that's just the way the brain works. The brain isn't processing those negatives. And so those are a good indication that you're focused on something that you don't want when you're using those negatives, and your brain is processing it as saying, give me more of those, give me more of those. So that's when you can use the magic question. I've seen this a lot, in sales. People will be talking on the phone and they'll say, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call me. Well, their brain subconsciously is hearing, hesitate to call me. So you want to rephrase that. What do I want? Well, I want him to feel free to call me. So you might want to rephrase that and say, please feel free to call me if you have any questions. Instead of using those things like don't hesitate. Very small, very subtle things, but they can have an effect. Those are the things that have an effect on the law of attraction. So those are the things to watch. The other thing to watch out for, and to, whenever you catch yourself doing this, to pop in with the magic question, is to watch what I call unwanted words. Words that while they're not negative, certainly have a bad connotation. Things like debt, or sickness, or problem. Those are the things that you might want to watch out for. I have a lot of clients who come because they have credit card debt and they want to, use the law of attraction to create more money. But what they come to me saying, I want to use the law of attraction to get out of debt. Well, the focus is on debt. And if you're talking about debt, and your focus is on debt, the law of attraction is going to give you more debt. So the very first thing I say, what do you want? Well, I want to have so much money so that I'm be out of debt. Okay, then let's focus on the amount of money you want to make, not the fact that you want to get out of debt. You can use the same thing for sickness or getting over certain problems. In fact, a very common thing that you hear every day, if someone says thank you, a common reply is no problem. Again, you're focusing, it's very subtle, but you're putting the focus on problem. So instead of saying, no problem, which can be a habit, you might want to change that to something like my pleasure. That would be, something that's obviously has a very positive effect, and it's something that everyone wants. Again, a very small, subtle thing, but those are the things that you do them day in and day out, they'll have an effect on using the law of attraction more deliberately. So that's the magic question. I hope you go home and put this into practice every day, and remember, put reminders around everywhere, and use, whenever you catch yourself focused on what you don't want, ask yourself the question, what do I want? And in the next part, we're going to talk about setting. Well, that will do it for this installment. Thanks for watching part 3 of my Introduction to the Law of Attraction series. Please join me again in part 4, where I'll talk about setting your intentions. In addition, please check out my website for information on a free 4-week video course called Getting Started with the Law of Attraction. This course will teach you how to put the Law of Attraction into practice in your everyday life. Well, thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful today and a magical tomorrow.